The cryptocurrency market has been taking hit after hit for over 24 hours as of press time. Bitcoin currently sits below $37,000, the lowest it has been in at least 6 months. While the Fear and Greed Index remains at extreme fear, co-founder and CEO of MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor, believes the best game plan for anyone is to buy the dip. In a recent interview, the CEO declares that MicroStrategy will be buying even more Bitcoin, despite the current market situation. He explains that Bitcoin is a non-sovereign store of value, and it has saved MicroStrategy from losing a lot of money as the dollar continues on its steady decline. Welcome to Savvy Finance. In this video, we examine Michael Saylor's thoughts about the extended sell-off that continues to plague Bitcoin prices, sending the flagship coin to a 6-month low on January 22. Saylor also talks about why he chose to invest in Bitcoin above all other cryptocurrencies and the regulations that he expects from the US government concerning the crypto ecosystem. Please ensure you watch the video to the end, click the like button, and subscribe to the channel. In his interview, Saylor explains that MicroStrategy decided to take on the Bitcoin strategy when the dollar continued its steady decline in 2020. To Saylor, the digital currency was a way out of a highly inflationary environment, and it remains so because MicroStrategy is going to put in even more money in Bitcoin. Saylor explains that they would continue to buy Bitcoin with cash, debt, equities, and partnerships. He adds that Bitcoin has many qualities that differentiate it from other cryptocurrencies, and these qualities inform the company's decision to invest in Bitcoin.
So about this possible winter, are you really not feeling the cold?
You know, if you wouldn't hold it for 10 years, you shouldn't hold it for 10 minutes.
MicroStrategy holding all this Bitcoin, does it ever make you at all nervous?
No, actually, it gives me great comfort. I don't really think we could do anything better to position our company in an inflationary environment than to convert our balance sheet to Bitcoin, because we basically built a balance sheet on a non-sovereign store of value that's not a currency derivative. 2 years ago, we were sitting on a bunch of cash, and that cash was losing about 10% of its purchasing power a year. And then when COVID struck and the Fed took a more accommodative monetary policy, that cash started losing 25% of its purchasing power a year. So my anxiety was maximized around April, May of 2020 when we had the K-shaped recovery, and I realized that cash is trash, everything's about to get much more expensive, and we needed a strategy. So we adopted a Bitcoin strategy. It's driven up our stock by a factor of 5. You know, in my opinion, it saved the company from a not very pleasant fate. So I'm totally pleased with where we are today.
Just Bitcoin? None of those other thousands of cryptocurrencies?
Look, Bitcoin is digital property. It's universally acknowledged as common property because it had a fair distribution, no ICO, no management team. Satoshi disappeared. It's pari passu to a commodity, to land, to gold. And it's pretty important that it be deemed property. The rest of the cryptos could be securities. There's just a lot of regulatory overhang and question about whether they're securities or not. And I think that the great innovation is the creation of common property in cyberspace. It took us 13 years to get to the point where that's universally acknowledged. So that makes Bitcoin the safe haven for a public investor or a public company. Everything else feels more like either venture capital or speculation. I feel like it's consolidating at this level. This is a great entry point for institutional investors. I talk to high net worth individuals, family offices, public company executives, private company owners, and they watch Bitcoin run up in 2021. And there are a lot of people that would be afraid to own it if it was going up 400% a year. But if they're staring at it and it's 40% off the all-time high and it's consolidating, and they see that it's being embraced by people like Bill Miller, by very well-respected investors, it's being embraced by the regulators, it's being embraced by senators and congressmen and public investors and public companies, they're looking at this as like a good entry point. I'd be remiss, Emily, not to make a more important point, which is what's really going on here at a macro level is inflation. The CPI headline inflation is 7%. Look at the Turkish lira. It's collapsing. The peso is collapsing. So there's a volatility story for a conventional investor in Manhattan that's got a portfolio of equities. But 75% of the world can't buy the S&P index. They're in Africa, Asia, South America, and if they've got their assets in banks, they're going to have them seized. They can't buy the equity. So the real story here is digital property that solves a problem that 8 billion people face.
The big question is then, are you going to buy more? Yes or no?
Yeah, we're going to buy more. We're buying more with our cash flows. We've adopted a Bitcoin standard, Emily. That means that when we generate cash, we sweep it into Bitcoin. We've been generating, anywhere from $70 to $100 million of cash flow.
Today's video was sponsored by Atlas VPN. Atlas VPN is a virtual private network that helps you explore your favorite things on the internet with more freedom and security. Atlas reroutes all your internet traffic through an encrypted tunnel to shield your online activities, IP address, and all personal data from snoopers. Atlas is the tool you need to explore the internet without the fear of being hacked or spied on by the government. It can be a real pain when you cannot access your favorite TV show because of geographic restrictions due to licensing rights, or when a seemingly safe link leads to a gigantic personal data breach with many ugly consequences. Unfortunately, these are regular incidents that everyone risks every time they use the internet. Every time you click a link, you run the risk of exposing your email addresses, passwords, social security number, other personal data, or worse, your crypto wallet and other financial information to unscrupulous individuals on the internet. Atlas also gives you 100% anonymity, so you can explore websites, streaming platforms, and every content you love without geographic restrictions for fear of being hacked. You can access all sites and platforms, including those that are restricted in your region or country. Atlas helps you browse the internet without borders, no censorships, restrictions, or fear, just freedom and maximum security to explore all the things you love. In addition, you would be saving much more than you spend on subscriptions with Atlas VPN. With a quick change of your region with Atlas VPN, you will be able to get better deals on online subscriptions for streaming platforms and pay less for airline tickets, hotels, and more. Atlas is currently offering users the opportunity to enjoy all these benefits for $1.39 per month for 3 years. And one subscription is all you need to protect an unlimited number of devices from snoopers and restrictions. Click on the link in the description box below to enjoy all these and more benefits.
So we will also buy Bitcoin with debt. We bought Bitcoin with $1.7 billion worth of convertible debt. We bought Bitcoin with a $500 million senior secured note that we pay 6 1/8% interest on. We also issued $1 billion worth of equity at the market, and we converted it all into Bitcoin. So combinations of cash flow, equity, debt, potentially through other partnerships.
You promised to host a yacht party when Bitcoin got to 100,000. When do you think that will be?
The 100K party. When I did that interview, it was the fall of 2020, and I think Bitcoin was trading at 15,000. And John Vallis wrote me in. He said, will you host the 100K party? And I said, well, sure, I will. There was no doubt in their mind the party's coming quite soon. I was just amazed at the confidence of Bitcoiners. I don't have a price target for when it's going to happen. What I learned is laser focus. Stuff takes time. I'm comfortable with us working through this year over year. I don't need instant overnight success.
On how the U.S. government could regulate the crypto ecosystem, Saylor firmly believes that the regulations are coming, especially for stable coins. Saylor states that stable coins like Tether and Circle will be regulated as currencies and issued by FDIC-approved banks. He also believes that other crypto tokens, as well as crypto exchanges, will be regulated. He adds that regulations might actually be advantageous to the ecosystem, allowing it to grow bigger than it is now. Listen to Saylor's thoughts on regulations and tips for people who are about to join the crypto space in 2022.
What kind of regulation are you anticipating? Which way do you think the Washington winds are blowing?
There's a profound shared appreciation that digital assets are the future of the financial industry, and the United States needs to lead. And I've been pretty impressed at the support in the Senate and Congress from the administration and from regulators all around the world for this entire crypto economy. And in the use case as digital property, I think that the regulatory treatment is pretty clear. If you sell it at a profit, you'll owe capital gains on it, just like if you sold any other property. I think that with regard to the cryptocurrencies, the stable coins like Tether and Circle, they're going to be regulated as currencies. Clearly, the administration wants to see FDIC-approved and insured banks issue them. So I think that, that we're going to see the banking sector enter into the stablecoin market. I think that many other cryptos are deemed as securities and will be deemed as securities, and they're going to be regulated as securities. I think that the marketplace is waiting to see what those expectations will be. And I think it's pretty clear that the writing is on the wall with regard to crypto exchanges, right? The SEC wants them to abide by the principles and the rules of national securities exchanges. And they've said that in the spot ETF denial letter that they wrote, and on several occasions. So I think the regulation is coming to the exchanges. I think regulation is coming to to the crypto security tokens. I think that with regard to stable coins, this is going to be a good thing. Right now, the stable coin market is maybe $170 billion all in. It's grown dramatically, but the truth is there's a demand for trillions of dollars of US dollar stable coins. And the reason that that entire market hasn't grown by an order of magnitude is because companies like Amazon and Microsoft and government agencies aren't going to move billions of dollars of stable coins around unless they feel comfortable that Treasury and the administration endorses them. And when we see FDIC-approved banks, when you see a JP Morgan issue a stable coin, you may see $1 trillion worth of that. And let me just characterize the entire movement. This is a rotation from an entrepreneurial-driven industry to an institutionally driven industry. And we're sitting at this point where we're crossing the chasm. And the question is, which entrepreneurs will be institutionalized and come public and get the appropriate regulatory licenses? Which existing institutions will choose to enter the market? Which banks, like the Silvergate banks of the world, will enter the market? And then there will be a shakeout. And obviously, 6,500 cryptocurrencies are not going to be around here in a decade. You're going to see many of these things go away as the industry shakes out and as it matures.
Top 3 tips for people who want to get into crypto but don't know where to start.
You should educate yourself first, and you shouldn't really do anything until you have a firm conviction. Then do your diligence, be very thoughtful about which vendors that you work with and how you move forward. And then third, take a long time horizon.
Bitcoin is digital property, digital energy, or digital gold. You have to pick one.
Bitcoin is digital energy, and it is the future of the internet.
Web 2.0 or 3.0? What do you think?
I think, they're all marketing phrases. If you actually put a layer of digital energy, or in this case, wrap Satoshis around your persona as you navigate through cyberspace, you can completely eliminate all the things that plague us in the internet. The next version of the internet is a layer of digital energy wrapped around digital information.
MicroStrategy currently holds over 100,000 Bitcoin, which is why many may disregard Saylor's unflinching support for the coin even as it continues to tank. Do you think it's time to buy the dip and hold on for dear life, or sell to institutional players who are looking to get in cheap? Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, remember to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications.